Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I just wanted to come on today to have a little look at the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot deck. This is the one in the tin. I don't own the bigger version of this. I recently bought the Pocket Tarot and the Pocket Animal Spirit together. If I pull a couple of cards at the end, I'll pull one from the Animal Spirit Oracle deck as well. But mainly this video is about the tarot deck, the Pocket Tarot deck. And like I said, I don't have the big deck. I've only just bought this little Pocket Tarot in a tin, and I have to say I love it. I put off buying this deck for quite a long time because I just really wasn't sure if it was my cup of tea. I've got Kim Krantz's archetype deck, you know, the round one, and I love that deck for the book. I mean, the book is just fantastic, but the cards themselves are not very intuitive. They don't do anything for me as such, the cards, it's the book. And so I just thought, well, if her tarot deck is the same, it's going to be no good to me because, you know, while I don't mind using the books with my oracle decks, I don't want to be doing that with my tarot deck. So I'd sort of put off buying it, but they were about £11 each, I think, on Amazon, these two decks. So I thought I'll give it a try and see what I think. And, you know, I've been blown away by how intuitive this deck is and how much I like it. And I've had some good readings out of it. I've been using it for maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks, I suppose, on and off, interspersed with other decks. And I've been kind of studying it, I suppose, as I've gone. I think I showed you in another video, I've edged the deck, and as I sat edging it, I was looking through the guidebook and just absorbing these cards, really. So today I just wanted to tell you some of my thoughts about them, and obviously these are my thoughts. This is not right or wrong. I don't know whether the bigger deck with the bigger guidebook has got any more information about some of the stuff I'm going to talk about, but the little guidebook doesn't really tell you anything particularly about the lines or the colours, or the way that this art has been put together, really. Because, you know, normally in tarot decks we see people, we see faces, we might see animals, landscapes, things like that. There is an emotional quality, isn't there, to many other decks that help you to read them intuitively, but this deck doesn't really have that particularly. What you get in this deck a lot of the time is animals. You do get some animals, but you get a lot of line work and a lot of colours. So yeah, like I said, I really wasn't sure how I would get on with it, but I really like it. Let me just pause for a sip of tea. I have to show you my tea here. I've been making my own tea for the winter, and it's lemon juice, fresh garlic that I just chop into bits, cinnamon, what else is in here? Oh, and some chamomile. And I put it all in a big cafetiere that you'd normally stew coffee in, and I've been making it in that, and it is delicious. So I wanted to get that while it was hot. So what do I want to show you? So I think first of all I'm going to show you some cards that I like a lot, some cards that I don't like, of which there's not many, and then just some thoughts on other bits and pieces. So let's push this down a bit more. Oops. Not like that. Like that. There we go. So Like in this Justice card here, I do very much like this. I like that the cats have got their tails entwined. This is one of those cards where the lines sort of gravitate outwards from a centre point. We've got the black and white cat here and all the colours. To me, this card is sort of inviting you to make a choice, I think, really. I do very much like this Death card in this deck. To me, this is just decay, isn't it? This is just the cycles of life. You know, while this might not be an easy image to look at, you know, if you're out in the countryside and you see little decomposing bodies of animals, it's never a nice thing, is it? But it is the cycles of life, unfortunately. It is what we are given. We live and we die, and things decompose and go back to the earth, don't they? And that's kind of all that is. So I don't mind that. I got that upside down? No. I do very much like this Six of Wands, the beautiful bright blue butterfly just emerging like victorious out of all of this tangle and darkness. The Mother of Pentacles, which I guess is the Queen of Pentacles. I love this. I always like these animals, these deer in images, but it's like she's just watchful and alert, but she's also nurturing and giving a safe space to her baby, isn't she? It's lovely. I like this card a lot. This is one that I will talk about, I think, with the lines a bit later on, but you can really see the conflict, I think, in that card. So I'll put that there. I also like the Three of Swords in this deck a lot. You know, we've got what looks like blood dripping at the end of the swords, and they're all wrapped up in this red cord. But I like that they're swords that are wrapped up, because it reminds you, you know, often we see a heart, don't we, that's been pierced by the swords, but actually this is that painful quality of thinking, isn't it, which I really, really like. The Ten of Wands, normally we see somebody feeling quite burdened, and oh my God, look at this, the tangle and the darkness and just the murk, you know, the whatever would it take to get through this lot, that, you know, is daunting, isn't it? What have we got else here? The Seven of Wands. Again, I really like this. This is like a light, isn't it? A beacon of light, of kind of safety. You know, when you're feeling under threat or under attack or defensive, there's like this light, isn't there? Which is a very sort of primeval symbol of safety for us, isn't it? The fire, the flame. The Ten of Cups. I really like this. It's like every cup is filling another cup, isn't it? Everything is entangled here together, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of cups, of cup filling, isn't it? I haven't explained that very well, but you know what I mean. The Six of Cups I very much like here. I like that we've got 4 cups above ground and 2 cups underground, and I think this is to remind you not to get lost in the past, really, that it's okay to be nostalgic and kind of sentimental, but not to get lost in the past, because, you know, the present and the future are very important. The Nine of Pentacles. Normally we see somebody in their garden surrounded by flowers and birds and things, and here it's just like these feathers are keeping all those pentacles safe. It's like a nest, isn't it? And I feel about the Nine of Pentacles, it's about home and what home means to you, and my home is a nest. The Five of Swords, I like this. I like the, you can feel, I think, the heavy energy of these downward lines here with the swords cutting this sort of wormy thing in half. You can feel the, again, the conflict there, I guess. Oh, and this one, the Five of Pentacles. This is such a beautiful card, but so sad in itself as well. It's like this rose never bloomed, did it? You know, it's like the frost may have caught it before it had fully opened and bloomed. There's a poverty about that card, isn't there? The Hermit. I mean, what a great image for the Hermit. A tortoise in his shell with his little light on the top. The Three of Pentacles, I really like this as well. Normally we see people collaborating together to achieve something. And here it's like these three, what did I say, pentacles? I mean wands, didn't I? It's not the Three of Pentacles at all, is it? It's the Three of Wands. And normally we'd see somebody about to set sail or to start a journey or something. And this is interesting, isn't it? Like these wands are keeping all of this very bright and alive energy contained within these wands, because that's what makes me feel of these colours, is that they're alive. It's like a swirling force of energy waiting maybe to be unleashed. I like the Ace of Pentacles. I like that even though this is an ace and it's a beginning, we can see where the progress will be. We can see the journey of this pentacle with all the rings of the tree. I like the Eight of Pentacles here, sorry. And I mean, what more of an artist is there than a spider with their web? You know, this perfecting of this awful web, because I do not like spiders. I know their place in the world, but I don't like them. The Daughter of Cups, this is like the Page of Cups, and I love this. I just see the Page of Cups as being a card of vulnerability, and this little baby, I don't know, what is it, a swan, a goose, a little duckling. It's vulnerable, isn't it? It's fluffy and vulnerable. The Nine of Swords. There's just all sorts of horrid things here. There's like eyeballs and worms and hair and... oh, it's like a claw. I don't know. It is all the stuff of nightmares, isn't it? The Nine of Wands. I mean, how tricky is that? You know, this staircase here up to the moon, of having to pick your way through all of these wands here. That's so clever. The Eight of Swords here, we can see here that restricted feeling, that feeling of being trapped, that somehow this butterfly might not be able to emerge fully because of the swords around it. Really interesting. We've got here the Four of Wands. I like this a lot. It's like, normally we see the Four of Wands and we see like a happy celebration or a party or a house, you know, the foundations of something. And I think that's what's being shown here, isn't it? With all of the different lines and the different colours. It's all building. It's like building layer upon layer upon layer. I think that's what it means to me anyway. And the last one I've got here is the Seven of Swords. And I just like that with the fox there with one eye open. It's like that you can't quite trust energy, isn't it? You know, the trickery of someone has got their beady eye on you, or you've got your beady eye on somebody else. So there's those cards. They're kind of my favourites, the ones that jumped out at me immediately out of the deck that I just really resonated with. Some more tea. So these 3 cards here are just the ones that I just either don't like or didn't get. And it's only 3 cards, to be honest, and the main one is this 10 of Swords. And although I'm sure the creator didn't mean anything by it, I don't want to look at a bull stuffed with swords, because this is something that happens in reality. This is the disgusting and sick sport, so-called sport of bullfighting, isn't it? You know, I know this card is an ending and this bull is ended, isn't it? But you know, bullfighting is torture of a bull, in my opinion. And you know, with our endings and beginnings, with our endings of cycles, they're often things that we've had choice over, or we've been influential in that process. But this bull had no choice, did it? This bull had things done to it, and I do not like that. I don't like that. The 5 of Cups here also, again, this is just me being precious because I love horses so much. I don't want to associate a horse with that sad energy of the 5 of Cups. It just takes me to terrible places when I think about sad, knackered old horses. I just don't want to think about that one, really. And the last one here is just, I suppose, just my preference, is the High Priestess. And while I totally get cats as being the High Priestess, I don't think a tiger really resonates for me. Even though this tiger is not a colourful tiger, it's a washed out, pale, sort of white tiger here. I don't get it. I would have rather seen a black cat, or just something that figured. I see tigers as being creatures of fire, I suppose. So it just doesn't work for me, really. So what else have I got here? So when I was looking through the, let's put those all up there. So when I was looking through the deck, other than the colours and the lines, something else that also sort of jumped out at me was that some of the cards, only maybe 5 of them, I think. I don't think there was any others. Let me just quickly go through my favourites. I think there was only the 5 that have lightning. Yeah, there was just the 5 cards that have lightning on them. And I was sort of thinking about that, really, and wondering what that might be about, because we always see it with the Tower card, don't we, obviously. And I kind of think that lightning is that sudden sort of clarity, isn't it? Perhaps when things become clear. I wondered that, you know, looking at the Hierophant here, it's interesting that we have this crow with lightning going through him and to a key. And the key would unlock the knowledge, wouldn't it? And the lightning is that clarity, that lightning strike, that sudden truth. So yeah, I quite like this little theme of lightning going through. And we get the same here with the Ace of Swords, which is very much a clarity, isn't it, of information, of knowledge, of insight. And the Father of Wands, the King of Wands, I think it's a similar thing, isn't it? That fire, that spark of initiation, of the doing of something, which is, you know, that in here it might be the Father of Wands about to strike. And in the 8 of Wands here as well, this isn't normally just sudden movement, isn't it? It's rapid movement, but here with the fiery lightning that goes green as it goes into the earth, I think you can see that here. As it touches the earth, it goes from red to green and then radiates outwards, doesn't it? So that's an interesting take on that as well. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And obviously, as I'm going through these cards, if you've got any insights of your own, if you've been working with this deck a long time, or even a short time, and you've got insights about it, I would love to hear your thoughts. So there's obviously all the lines, isn't there, within this deck, and I think I'd been a bit put off by those because I wasn't really sure what they meant. And there's all sorts of lines, isn't there? Let's just have a look at these ones to start off with. So we have lines that are horizontal. Some of them are just black and white, some of them are coloured, like this one in the Fool. And I don't know, this, you know, the Fool is obviously potential, isn't it? It's new potential. And perhaps that's what these horizontal lines mean, because to me they're quite neutral and quite, I suppose they're stable lines, aren't they? I've noticed there's quite a lot of these cards in the deck, the horizontal lines. This little Fool here is so cute. This is the potential of the Fool, isn't it? He's about to step off the branch and take his first little flight there. And above him is all of this heat sort of energy, and below is the unknown, isn't it? It's the potential and the unknown. At least that's how I see it anyway. We also have lines that go down and across. So these are lines that are sort of multi-directional, aren't they? We've also got that there with the Sun of Swords. Trying to think, where's the other one that I was interested in? Yeah, this one, the Five of Wands. I mean, the lines are just going in all different directions here, and we know that this represents conflict. And you know, often in the Rider-Waite-Smith, this is about people not pulling together, pulling in different opposing directions, and we can see that here really simply and really easily. You know, none of these wands here are going to achieve what they want particularly, because they're all at odds with each other, aren't they? So I think that's really cool. We also get these, we've got it here as well, haven't we? These lines that radiate out from a center point on the card, and they're expansive lines, aren't they? It feels to me that it's like energy being channeled outwards from a certain point, which would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it, with the Chariot card there. And the Lovers, it's interesting that we've got these two geese. Yeah. Was there another line? So we've got horizontal lines. We've got, have I got a card here of real vertical lines? I mean, we can see some vertical lines in the Seven of Pentacles, but also some horizontal lines. Let's have a look. See if I can find a card where the lines just are vertical. Not that one. No. No. How funny. Kind of not really. Let me go to another pile. So I suppose, so they're going across as well, aren't they? I was struggling to find a card that is all, oh, here we go. We'll go with this one. This is all downward lines, isn't it? Is there any more? I think some of them are very subtle, the downward lines, aren't they? The vertical lines. I think the Nine of Swords, where's that card? That, I have the feeling that, no, not that pile. I'm pretty sure that that was one of all downward lines as well. So I suppose the Nine of Wands has some, yeah, there we go. So yeah, these, move those, these three cards here, they all have downward lines, don't they? This one has some colour, but the other two are just very black and white, aren't they? The Five of Swords and the Nine of Swords. And, you know, we know what those cards mean. And so I would guess that the vertical lines is that sort of heavy energy. It's oppressive. It's closing in on itself to me. It's not like expansive, is it? Like the Lover's card, or stable and kind of calm. You know, these are calm lines, I feel, these horizontal lines. And then these vertical lines feel quite negative and quite heavy. And then we've got lines that are opposing, which must kind of represent difficult, challenging energies, I suppose, but also energies that could go either way. You know, this Five of Wands, you know, the conflict in this could go either way, couldn't it? It's unknown, isn't it? And the Seven of Pentacles is a bit the same, isn't it? You're putting in all this hard work, but it could go either way, couldn't it? We don't know the outcome of that just yet, do we? I also feel the same a little bit about the Son of Swords here. The Knight of Swords is a bit of an unpredictable energy. The Knight of Swords could be a force for good, but could also be kind of difficult and argumentative. So, yeah. So they're my thoughts, really, on the wild unknown. Like I said, it's been a bit of a revelation to me. I did not expect to enjoy the deck as much as I have. I didn't expect it to be quite as thought-provoking as it is. Do you know what? I think I'm going to give them a little shuffle, and I'm going to pull a card from this deck, and I'm going to pull a card from the Pocket Animal deck, and just see what they say. So let's have a look. So we've got the Six of Pentacles. Very nice. I don't think I showed you that, did I, as we were going through? That sort of generous spirited energy, isn't it, of giving and taking. And I also edged this gorgeous little Pocket Animal deck in blue. So let's give these a little shuffle. So could I have an animal oracle card, please, that will bring us some clarity about the Six of Pentacles here. So we have the Otter. So let's have a little read about the Otter. What was at the bottom of the deck? The Fire Ant. What was at the bottom of the deck here? The Justice card. Always have to look at the bottom of the deck. Right, let's have a look. The Otter. This little guidebook can be a bit tricky to start off with because the animals are divided up into the elements. So, and they're not in alphabetical order either. So, the Otter, unobstructed joy, playfulness and contentment, perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck. Well, that's nice, isn't it? And, do you know, otters are beautiful to watch, but they have decimated the rivers in the area where I live. They keep eating all the fish, which is not such a playful thing, is it? But I get that. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any age. They have a giddiness and reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would that look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. When in balance, full of love and needs nothing. When out of balance, gloomy sighs make silly excuses. To bring into balance, dance, party, or celebrate. Well, that does figure, doesn't it, with the Six of Pentacles here, of this, when in balance, full of love and needs nothing. You know, it would be a very generous spirit, wouldn't it? This absolute bliss and playfulness. It's kind of an innocent energy that would want everybody to have things, I guess. So I haven't explained that very well, have I? I think the Six of Pentacles, let's just have a read from the guidebook what she says about the Six of Pentacles here. Where are we? Indicates your long-awaited fruits are ready for harvesting, bringing more wealth than anticipated. Make sure you are generous during this bountiful time. This card can also signify generosity coming from someone else, and in this case, accept the help with grace and put the resources to great use. Do you know what? To me, these two cards together just kind of represent having that faith and that trust in the universe. You know, to not take things too seriously and to have faith and trust that the universe will bring you what you need when you need it. I found that to be the case in life. I don't know about you. But anyway, there we go. That's the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot and a little card from the Pocket Animal Spirit Guidebook. So, like I said, if you've been using this deck for a while, if you've got any hints or tips on how to read it, what the lines, what the colours, because I didn't actually go into that, did I, about the colours in these cards. I'm thinking, do they represent the rainbow of colours? Do they represent our chakras? Not really sure. So if you know what the colours represent in these cards and you've got any ideas and thoughts about the lines and anything else to do with this deck, I would love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you all again soon.